Wait lang, bro. Tungod ani nga video magka-existential crisis ko ba? What's up mga kino? Dugay-dugay na kita kanang wala ka record, no? Pero karon kay ganahan na masad kong record, magpinamay na sad ko. Kasi ako an. Dara. Gabi nag-scroll ako YouTube good. Unya kaning usa ka video ba kay murag ganahan ko himuwag ka ng reaction ba. Kaning video gikan ni sa channel na Aperture na siya 798k na sa subscribers. Murag interesting kani siya nga video para nako ba kay mga random thoughts gani nga you never thought na gipangutana nimo. Nya karon sugdan nato. Hoy duha.
Not like the last two got 1 million views or anything. Look, I'm just trying to make people smile, or something. The child's laughter can light up your home. Unless it's 3 a.m. and you don't have a kid. But you can't escape...
What the Yatay. Okay.
In nightmares, how does your body replicate the feeling of falling from a building when you've never actually fallen like that before? I talk about dreams.
Kaniday no, mo ni gitawag na hypnic jerk kana ganing murag padung nakatulog unya murag ma-feel nimo ba nga nagdamgo ka na nahagbong ka or napandol ka. Usa sa mga theory ani is natay gitawag og reticular activating system din no sa atong brain. Mao ni siya responsible when we are awake. And then the second part kaning VLPO. Kamo na lay search no sa unsay meaning aning abbreviation. Kung kaning VLPO, mao ni siya ang kumbaga sleep switch nimo. And then what happens kung patulog na ka is that mag-ilog ang imong VLPO o ang reticular activating system nimo. Since ang imong reticular activating system is ang in charge when you're awake, mura siya last resort sa imong brain to keep you awake. And thus, naakay reaction sa imong muscles coming from your brain para mukalit kag lihok. And this is the sign na nakasugod na kagtulog.
Parents are more closely related to monkeys than you are. Something cooler though is that every single one of us has ancestors who are alive at the same time as every other human that has ever existed. We've fallen off a bit though. You know, us being attracted to people that wear glasses is kind of backwards when you consider natural selection.
Just to make a point here, no? Ang iyang boot pasabot is, in evolution, among go'y gitawag nga survival of the fittest. And then, as people, we are supposed to be more attracted on people who are more fit. But if we were attracted to people with glasses, scientifically, they are not more fit when it comes to eyesight. So, siguro, matumbot niya pasabot. Ay mo ka-offend.
The heart is basically a timer counting downwards until your death. Someone, somewhere, is listening to the last song they'll ever hear, or watching the last movie they'll ever watch, or getting the last haircut they'll ever receive. And there's really no way of knowing. There's a chance that the last picture of yourself you took could also end up being the one that is used for your obituary. Your life could end at any moment.
Creepy lang yung pangunahon ba? Tungod ani nga video magka-existential crisis ko ba? Matay ram gyapon tatanan.
It's not super often that you publicly hear about hitmen, so this either means that there aren't many of them, or that they're really, really good at their jobs. You know, how famous do you have to be to actually be assassinated as opposed to just being murdered? Like, am I not important enough? But if you are murdered, don't worry. Someone thought you were important enough to not exist anymore. So you really did mean something to someone.
So, dapat kong magpasalamat na gimurder ko. Ang akong presence makabother sa usa ka tao. Okay. Okay.
Some people are optimists, others are pessimists. You know, they usually ask, are you a glass half empty or a glass half full person? Well, the easiest way to answer it is this. Did you pour water in or out of it? Or maybe it wasn't even filled with water to begin with. If things are going bad, a drink always helps. When you're drinking any alcoholic drink, both you and the drink get drunk. No matter how
both you and the drink get drunk. I can't explain this so much. Pero kung pangutan na to, no? Nga na din makahubog ng alcoholic drinks. It contains ethanol. And kaning ethanol nana siya free pass throughout your body. After niya siya musulod sa imong tiyan, sa imong digestive system, mato siya sa imong bloodstream, and baka ato sa imong heart. And eventually, mo-hang out na siya sa imong brain. Tambay na siya sa imong brain. Ug mutambay ni ang ethanol sa imong brain, ang imong brain mo release og dopamine. So, as we know, kaning dopamine isa ka feel-good na chemical sa brain. And ito, manang reason nga nung mahubog ka.
You have no idea if you've lived 20% of your life or 90% of your life. It's weird to think about if you're closer to your birth or your death right now. Life isn't really a journey, it's more of a mission. Birthday cakes explain life pretty well. You start off not knowing what a birthday cake is, and then you figure it out. So you start getting excited for the days where you get birthday cakes. But then eventually you realize you can go out and buy your own birthday cake whenever you want. But then you realize you should probably stop eating so much cake because it's pretty unhealthy for you. Until one day you forget when your own birthday is, and
Wait lang. Inanagid. Umuti ko ang makalimot kasi mong birthday. I mean, I can see myself makalimot sa akong birthday in how many years. Pero once I forget, please someone just show me this video in the future para makahingon ko ba na
cake is the last thing on your mind. You know, birthdays seem pretty simple, but they can get kind of confusing. Your first birthday is technically your second birthday, and since a baby's age is only counted after being born, is a fetus that is still inside the womb technically a negative age?
Wait lang, di ba sa Korea ba to na country is when they were born, one na automatically ang ilang age? I don't know if that's really that's Korea. Pero I think I've heard, di ba, na naka 1-year-old na daan sila sa when they were born. Unsa rin na iniganto nimo sa Korea as a Filipino ka ma-plus 1 na ba nimong kuan? Or pag nag-change kag citizenship to Korean, ma-retain ba nimo ang imong age? Or unsay gisuot nila sa ilang birthday? It's really confusing now. Kung naay maka-explain ako diya sa comments, paki-comment below be kung especially sa mga tigtanaw kay drama dira who really dug deep into Korean culture, and then kung naka-idea ba unsa how does it work for them.
Not gonna lie, how often do you actually wake up fully recharged? Phones and computers work perfectly fine when they're on like 30% battery. It would be really nice if humans worked the same way. But we don't. We're different. Humans are the only species that decided that water was too boring of a beverage to keep us alive. We need food to survive, just like so many other animals. By the way, when you bite down on something, you're actually biting up.
When you bite down on something, you're actually biting up. Ito, no? Nice.
Have you ever thought about the fact that your belly button is technically your old mouth? Maybe you have, but I bet you've never thought about the fact that you can go the rest of your life without eating. Or you could just eat something you're extremely allergic to, a lethal dose if you will. A lethal dose of something is also technically a lifetime supply if you think about it. Like if you're allergic to peanut butter, just eat a bunch of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. But wait, the definition of sandwich is just an item of food consisting of 2 pieces of bread with some filling in between. So, by definition, loaves of bread that you buy are really just massive bread sandwiches.
No.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich. An idiot sandwich.
Music remixes are kind of like sound photoshops, if that makes sense. Just like turning up the volume on something is kind of like zooming in, but with sound. Our senses have turned out to be pretty useful. You can shut your eyes, close your mouth, cover your ears, pinch your nose, but you can't block out
Wait lang. Ning hating siya nga wanang ilong.
your nose.
Kasakit na sa mata eh. Yung sa ba niya? Wow. Don't do this, guys. I mean, nakoy na ba sa online na katong tawag na ning hatching. Sige, hatching na itong tawag. Ning hatching siya niya. Wala diya piyong iyang mata siguro or gipugnan niyang iyang sneeze. Nakuan, marag na rupture ang iyang larynx or ang iyang vocal cord and na operahan siya. Somewhere in the US siguro to.
But you can't block out your sense of touch. Your senses are meant to protect you, and your sense of touch helps prevent you from doing things that cause harm to your body, like cutting off your limbs. No one will ever be able to chop off both of their hands with a knife. Please don't try it.
Bitaw na.
You know, we take the easy way out a lot. We put in the least amount of effort needed into things, especially talking, texting in specific. If your is commonly written as your, then shouldn't your be written as your?
Oh, shoutout sa mga di ka ba mga apostrophe diha no kanang baliktad ang mga your og your maglagot gid ko magtan-aw gyud ug kanang mga magplural diha no nga but nga og apostrophe s just ko lord pagtarong mo labon daghan mog time karon quarantine no pagtuon daw ko na mo kanus but nga nag apostrophe s or daily or s lang palihog lang ko no.
Has communication gotten better or worse? We're more connected than ever, but for some reason we put the least amount of effort into communicating with each other. You know, we can communicate with our future selves in many ways. Notes, videos, and so on.
Inong bitaw ko ninyo ganina nga ug makalimot kay ko sa akong birthday in the future ipakita ni nako nga video ipakita gid nako nga video kay para maki-communicate ko sa akong future self.
Except we can't actually
Para ingnan ako kagalingon nabugo ka. Nakalimtan ka na nimo.
see ourselves. However, we can see our past selves, except we can't communicate with them in any way. It's kind of frustrating. Speaking of the past, remember Flappy Bird? That was 7 years ago.
Wow, 7 years ago. 2020, 2013. Oh. Bitaw, no? 7 years ago na. Dugay na day kaayo.
God, I'm old. Anyway, since we're talking about the past,
Same.
you're still it from a game of tag like 10 years ago. If cats go meow and dogs go woof and ducks go quack, what's the generalized sound that humans make?
So may sound sa tao, no? Sa kay generic nga sound sa tao, no?
Dogs are able to legally pee in more places than we are, which is funny.
Pinoys can be anywhere, okay? Mga waka gets di ano sarcasm dito, no?
But here's the most depressing thing in the entire video. Most dogs have siblings they'll never see again. If you look at yourself in a mirror from 5 feet away, aren't you technically seeing yourself from 10 feet away? Since light takes time to travel, you're also technically looking at yourself slightly in the past. Being able to see the future would be great. Actually, do caterpillars know they're going to become butterflies, or do they just put themselves in a cocoon while having zero clue what they're doing?
I don't think so. I mean, kita ba nga tao? I mean, mas bright ta sa mga caterpillar. Kibaw ba taon sa mahitabo na to in the future?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
What if your entire life is flashing in front of your eyes, but you're already dead?
Wow. Wait, naman ko nabasaan anin nga, ano ba? I don't know if theory to share story lang. Na when you die daw, mga 7 minutes before you die, mag-play ang imong tibok kinabuhi as if you were reliving it. And then what if you were in that 7 minutes, no? And what's happening now is nag-replay lang ka sa imong tibok kinabuhi. After this, you'll die.
Hindi kita malilimutan.
Normally, you empty your drink from the top, but when you use a straw, you empty it from the bottom. It's pretty cool to think about that there are only 365 different birthdays for nearly 8 billion people. You live to be around 80, and you spend a third of your life sleeping.
Yes, that is true. If you're averaging 8 hours of sleep per day, siguro as you grow older, you're losing more sleep. And that brings down the average to lower than a third of your life. Talking about sleeping, no? Katugon na ko mga ke. Mauro to ang atong istoryaan karong gabi una, no? Unya unta na lingaw mo, no? O kung gusto mo tan-aw, no, sa unsa gid nga video kaning shower thoughts ni Aperture, tanaw na lang po ang channel, no? So mauro to mga ke. Suki out.
Yung 35 ilang Yung 35 ilang